If you could be a robot, what kind of robot would you be? What kind of robot would you be? If you could be a robot, what kind of robot? It has come to my attention that I am, in fact, a cyborg. And it's also come to my attention that you are a cyborg and that we are all robots. Transhumanism, it's already happening, babes. You don't have to worry about when we're gonna do it. We're already doing it. Your thoughts, okay, opinions, your very essence and soul, it's already been uploaded to the cloud. And now, people who don't look like you are profiting off of it. But I think there's a way for you to regain control. In April of 2017, a new figure stepped onto the world stage. Strikingly beautiful and instantly captivating, a mysterious model named Shudu appeared on Instagram, and she had the world wondering who she was. Shudu quickly attracted thousands of followers who wanted to know more about her identity. Who was this compelling woman and where did she come from? After some time, it became apparent that there was no Shudu. She was and is a digital fabrication created by a young fashion photographer named Cameron James Wilson. Shudu is an art project to inspire him in a new virtual medium. After this revelation, Shudu became a social media phenomenon. Just so we're clear, when Shudu was introduced to the world through Instagram, it was not made explicitly clear that she was, in fact, a project. Okay? It wasn't clear that Shudu was a digital fabrication created by Cameron James Wilson. And for some time, Cameron James Wilson, lavished in his newfound stardom and popularity without telling us that Shudu was in fact AI and not a real person. Now, I'm not sure about your ethics, and I know you ain't sure about mine, but does that make you feel uncomfortable? Just a little bit, knowing that for some time, and I'm not talking about a couple of days, I'm talking about a couple months, damn near close to a year, that people had no idea that Shudu wasn't a real human being and that there was really no effort put forward to say, oh yeah, hey, sorry y'all, this is AI, this is a art project, this is not a real human being. The intentions here are not to make you all feel like this is a real person, except that's exactly what they were. Albeit dubious, that is what the intention was, and honestly remains to be. Now we just all happen to know, oh, Shudu's not real. And because of this popularity, because of this success, an entire agency, the Digitals, is born. That's right. The world's first all-digital modeling agency now exists. How do you feel about that? What feelings are arising for you that in the fashion industry, there's now an entire new subset of digital models? Okay? And these models aren't just like fantastical creations, right? They don't look too crazy. They do look like real people, and that's because they are modeled after actual human beings. And somehow they're getting the contracts before the real life, living, breathing human being that they're modeled after does. That's right. Of course, there's inequity, even with AI, because it seems like that's all capitalism knows. Inequities. When you can't find your phone, you start to have a panic attack, right? I know I do. When you can't find your phone, you start to have a panic attack. When your laptop is not doing what it needs to do, you start to get upset. You start to get angry when your body modifications don't work. Now, in these moments where you're having this panic, do you ever ask yourself, why am I panicking so hard over a device? Right? It's a device. It's not you. You didn't stop working, right? You didn't stop computing. The device stopped working. But you're having these overwhelming feelings of anxiety because that device is an extension of yourself. And not just in this like meta, you know what I'm saying, like psychological, emotional extension of self. No, your phone is literally a limb. Okay, your phone is part of your body. That's why when you can't find your phone, you feel like you've literally lost a piece of your body. Because you have. You've lost a piece of your modification. You, my friend, are already transhuman. I am a cyborg, and so are you. We're all cyborgs. Everyone's a cyborg. Everyone with access to these kind of technologies, cell phone, laptop, tablet, anything, is a cyborg. We don't look at it like that, though. See, when you think about somebody who, may have lost a limb, like an actual limb, in battle or due to health issues and complications, when they get a robotic leg and arm, we kind of don't think much of it. We're like, oh, that's kind of cool. Oh, they're like Cyborg from Teen Titans. But we don't really think much of it. We don't place ourselves in their shoes. We go, well, something has happened to them, and so they had to have a robotic arm. I don't have a robotic arm. Yes, you do. You have an iPhone. You have any cell phone. You have a robotic arm. You literally have the power of a miniature computer in your hand. And you mean to tell me that you aren't a robot? Yes, you are. When are you going to realize that? We're all robots. And it's affecting our health in a really serious way. So much so that some of us feel how you feel. But some of us believe that meta, existing online, will be better than going in the outside world. And I understand the Panerai, Panasonic, Panera Bread has made us all a little shaken up. Going outside comes with some anxiety. I could argue, are even afraid just to be around each other. And although I guess there's valid reason to feel that way because the Panasonic, Panera Bread, right? You're going to have to get outside again. You're going to have to talk to people again. You can't be fearful. And I beg, please don't only exist online. Because see, when you start to only exist online, your body, your mind, your brain, your eyes, your soul, your limbs will start to have a really hard time differentiating between what is the real world and what is meta. What is the internet? How much of your life, ask yourself this question, real. Ask yourself this question. How much of your life exists in this non-tangible place called the internet, called online? How much of yourself is living on the internet? And are there parts of yourself on the internet that you wouldn't let escape there? Right? Is there a manifestation, representation of yourself on the internet that you will only allow on the internet? Because if it comes out into the real world, if you start to act like online you'll be perceived differently. Which life is better to you, your online life or your real life? Or are our online lives our real lives now? Is that where we're shifting to? Is that where we're going? Does my life outside of my platform, outside of my content, outside of my engagement, outside of the algorithms, does that life not really matter? And now that you can make amounts of money that, there truly is no cap on how much you can earn on the internet, is that going to make us even more focused on living lives here on these screens than it is outside? Your body modification doesn't have to be extreme. Right now, if you're watching me on the screen, you've modified your eyeballs. We're not in the same room. We might not even be on the same side of the planet or the earth. You can be on a whole other hemisphere, a whole different time zone. I don't know what the weather is where you are. But you're watching me and you're listening to me. You literally transported yourself to a different time zone, a different part of the world. You're looking at somebody who doesn't exist where you are. You're a cyborg. You have modified yourself to be able to do this thing through a device that you are so connected to that you probably have a whole freaking anxiety panic attack when you can't find that thing. Our codependency on our devices is scary. It even frightens me. And we all have to figure out how we are going to navigate moving forward with these new metaverses. It's not like having robotic models is going to be the worst thing in the world, but we have to be careful about our relationship with them. See, I personally believe we cannot let the robots be our only representation of self. If we start to believe that the robot wearing the dress is the only thing, only person that should be wearing the dress, what happens to our understanding of beauty? How do our standards of beauty change if now everything walking the runway is a robot, is an algorithm, is a bunch of ones and zeros, shadow and light, smoke and mirrors? What happens to our standards of beauty if it's all just one big hallucination on the on the runway? Huh? A model programmed. Have you ever thought about what that means? Deserve better than what's happening to them, and so do we as consumers. See, I know that it's really easy to feel like fashion is something that we really shouldn't care about because, with everything going on in the world and existing on this spinning rock, like, why do we care what Gucci and Givenchy or even The Gap, Yeezy are producing, right? Are any of those things going to, I don't know, stop climate change? Probably not. Probably not. But at the end of the day, this is labor, right? There's a lot of hard labor involved at every level of the fashion industry, and the models themselves are engaging in hard labor. When Hanifa the Label had her virtual show, it was something really revolutionary, right? People weren't really using 3D models of clothing in that way because she didn't have, artificial models wearing the clothing. She had the clothing being the model itself. Then in, 2021, when we could safely and somewhat distanced have fashion shows, Hanifa came back with her next collection, but used, real life models because she knows as herself, a Black woman, she knows how difficult it is for Black women to even get into the industry. So we have to make conscious choices to do better and be better. And this is really, really, really impacting our mental health. Earlier, when I discussed that, people had no idea that these digital models were in fact digital because the technology at a rapid rate is getting more and more and more sophisticated. And yes, we absolutely will reach a point in time where the naked eye, for the most part, won't be able to tell the difference between the robot, the AI, the hologram, or the human. And I don't think that time is as far off as we're all trying to pretend it is. And so with that understanding, when we start to see society shifting towards these things, developing attitudes that are more comfortable with, having robotic models on the stage, maybe going to a fashion show and everything that you're looking at is really just a hologram, right? Once we see that our attitudes are shifting towards these things as a society, we have to ask ourselves, now hold on, wait a minute, where are the boundaries and what about the humans involved? Because the women that all of these artificial models are literally modeled after, they aren't seeing the income, right? The revenue that's generated from their likeness being used, it's not being given to them. There's no fruit of their labor, right? They just have sat there in some instances. In other instances, they've just had their photos and their likeness just taken from the internet. And, the best pieces of them, and I'm speaking in a very subjective way, right? The best quote unquote pieces of them are taken and put on this one person and tweaked even more because even the best pieces of the so-called most beautiful best models still aren't good enough, right? We're still editing. We're still changing. So we're never going to be happy. When it comes to beauty standards, we're never going to be happy. And so I think when it comes to the mindset of just people everywhere, but I'm a woman and I'm a young woman, so I'm going to speak specifically to my demographic. I think for young women everywhere, especially impressionable young women, right? We're talking about our 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, tween teenagers, those kids, we have to be very clear when what we're showing them is not real, right? We have to go beyond the hashtag ad and a sponsorship. No, we have to go. This is not a real human being you're looking at. There was damage done. There was serious damage done when Shudu and models alike were introduced, right, in mass media, and there was no conversation about whether or not these were real people we were looking at or not. Now, I know you could say, oh, well, that just has to do with someone's self-confidence and how they feel about themselves. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Tomatoes, boo, tomatoes. No, I don't agree with that. Because we all have seen someone who could be incredibly confident. I don't mean pretending. I mean truly incredibly confident. If they keep getting shown things that they're told, quote unquote, are real, and that's the new standard, yes, at some point their confidence is gonna lessen. We're all human beings. See, that's the thing about being a human. Like, we're all human beings. If someone keeps telling you something and they say it's true, and all of the supporting evidence around you that you have access to is also telling you that this is true, well, then all you're going to do, most likely 9 times out of 10, is believe that that's true. So if everyone around you is telling you that this robot is a human being, and they're the most beautiful thing walking, and all of your supporting evidence that you have access to tells you that robot is a human being, so you don't have any idea of this robot, you're going to be like, well, damn. If that's what they're going to be booking now, what happens to my job? So what about the models? I know people like to think that, like, modeling is, like, kind of a really low-brow form of employment. And, like, if the modeling industry, as we understand it today, ceased to exist, it's like, no sweat off our backs. It wasn't like modeling was keeping the world turning and moving and clogging. But whatever. Hey, guess what? It's us everyday Joes, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. Those average, quote unquote, people that have created the modeling industry. So guess what? If you're going to employ these women and you're going to tell these women and men and people that they can make money off of their talent and skill of posing, of walking a runway, of modeling, of making your creation, your art look good, then honor that. And I think models have far more options than they give themselves credit for. I know there's a lot of fear in speaking out against photographers, against publications, against agencies, against agents and makeup artists and hairstylists in every tier. I know, because I've been in that world. I know there's a lot of fear when it comes to speaking out. But at some point, you're going to have to just do it. If this is the industry you're decided that you're going to be in, when that industry stops serving you, it doesn't always mean you have to just leave the industry and let the industry kick you out. No, if the industry is not serving you, ask yourself, why is this industry not serving me anymore? And what needs to be done for this industry to continue not only serving myself, but others that look like me? How do we have fellowship, sisterhood, and community in this fight, in this plight? Because it's not just about robots, y'all. It's not just about AI modeling. It's about an industry. It's about a form of employment that may be snatched from people simply because, and I'm gonna keep saying it, anti-blackness is prevailing. There were people who felt like, oh, well, black women, and especially dark-skinned women, and just black people in general, and especially dark-skinned black people in general, should just be happy that Shudu exists, because shouldn't we just be happy that a dark-skinned black woman is being highlighted at such a high level? First of all, that's not a dark-skinned black woman. That is a computer-generated image. No, I should not be happy as a dark-skinned black woman, as a human being. No, I should not be happy that a computer-generated image compiled of the so-called best parts of other dark-skinned models is being highlighted and profiled, and that a white man, is benefiting from it in his primarily mostly white team. From my research, I didn't really see, his white team is profiting and making money off of the literal bits and pieces, parts of other black women that they compiled together to make this fictional black woman. No, I should not be happy. How does that benefit me in any way? We already talk about unrealistic beauty standards. Well, how does it benefit me and any other dark-skinned black woman and any other dark-skinned black person that a fictional character, a computer-generated image, is now going to be accepted as the quote-unquote standard of beauty? That is insanity. And I think if any black person, these are my thoughts and opinions, so this is my belief, my truth. You can disagree with me and sound off in the comments if you like. But I think any black person who thinks that black people should feel like these computer-generated images are some sort of win needs to sit down and ask themselves why. Why do we think it's better when we're represented fictionally than actually? Why can't black people just be actualized? Our flesh, okay? Our humanity, our wholeness as we exist in the real. I think, therefore I am. Why can't that just be realized and that be the beauty? It's like, how dare y'all tell us and tell these models, y'all should be happy. Y'all should just be happy that this image of you is out there. No, we shouldn't be, because that image of us isn't even fucking real. Like, it's literally not fucking real. It's a computer-generated image. Why in the world should I be happy? And why should I even accept that? Someone has decided these parts of a black woman. If y'all, I might do a video on it. But if y'all know, like, the history, you know what I'm saying? In America, in Europe, we all know, right? So why would we even think it's acceptable to tell black women, be happy that this is your representation? Are you serious? No, you can't be. You must be joking. It must be satire. Because there's no way you think that we should really be happy about this. Now, here's my thing. I'm not going to just sit here and be like, I'm angry, I'm mad, we shouldn't have robot. I like technology. But I also understand that I, a human being, am the greatest technology that there is. Your brain, okay, your gut, your feelings, your body, your flesh and blood, right? You as a human being, you are the technology. We are the greatest technology that has existed. We, us. You know, when people talk about the robots are going to take over, we need to be mindful of the robots because one day it's going to happen. I'm always confused about when this one day is, because the one day has already come. We as society are already accepting all of these modifications to our bodies. We have Oculuses, we have VRs, we have cell phones, we have laptops, we have tablets. We have so many things that allow us to do things with our human bodies that we never could. We're cyborgs. We're robots. It's already happening. People, have all these theories and are concerned that they're going to be putting a chip into our body through the means of required hams. But babe, you've done it to yourself. Your microchip is just outside of your body. Your microchip is your phone. Your microchip is your laptop. Your microchip is your tablet. Babe, you are the microchip, and you've said yes. And you keep modifying yourself. You keep upgrading yourself. What is the one day robot takeover? It's literally already happening. We're always asking for more and more and more. As much as we all say we're so annoyed that Apple always comes out with a new iPhone. No, we're not. You can't wait to modify yourself. You can't wait for it. Stop lying. Stop lying. You get excited when Apple comes out with a new product. I don't care if Apple comes out with an iPhone every week. Some of y'all are going to be the first in line to modify your body. So where's the fear coming from, Pooh? What are you afraid of? You're already the robot. Now, I'm not saying you have to run away and live off the grid and pretend like you don't care about anything, because that's a lie. We know that. But what I am saying is just be a little bit more mindful about how you are becoming a cyborg. Be the cyborg that you want to be, Barbie girl. Be the cyborg that you want to be. That's all. I never really spent much time, really until this video, thinking about what kind of robot that I want to be. But now I think I understand what kind of robot I want to be. I want to be the kind of robot that's really self-aware. I want to break the fourth wall. I want to be a robot in the office, right? I want to be that kind of a robot. It's not, nothing gets past me. I know I'm a robot. I get it. I just don't want to be a robot who lacks self-awareness. That's all. What kind of robot do you want to be? Have you ever thought about it? Has the thought ever crossed your mind? What kind of robot do you want to be? Because we are all robots. And now the models are robots. And the models, the humans, are not happy about it. And I don't think you should be that happy about it either. Especially when they're not even telling you when a robot is walking the runway. So now you have body dysmorphia over a hologram. And you didn't even know it was a hologram. I'm not saying it's better to feel bad about your body type because, you know, based off a real human. But I mean, like, gosh darn, like, babe, the reality is getting all mixed up. Also, like, what even is reality? Like, aren't we all just, like, hallucinating this experience? Like, I think, therefore I am, I guess. I think, therefore I am, I guess. But, like, who knows? Like, am I sitting in this chair because the chair is here? Or am I sitting in this chair because I believe the chair is here? So I'm sitting in this chair. Because if I suddenly stop believing that a chair is here, will the chair disappear and will I be on the floor? Or will I still be sitting because I believe that I'm sitting? You see, this is why theory and philosophy really fuck with your mind. But we're here now. The video is starting. You're still watching. So we're going to get into robots. Look, all I'm saying is that I understand the art of it all. I mean, look at this Simpsons collaboration, okay? This was fun. This was exciting. This was cute. I actually would love to see more, you know, big fashion houses or fashion brands collaborate with Black illustrators and Black cartoonists and even, you know, insert themselves into more Black shows. Like, that would be cool. That would be interesting. That'd be a great way to support us. Not picking apart, like, bits and pieces of us and creating, quote unquote, the ideal models. Like, that's not cute to me. That's weird. That's giving 1842, 1791, and 1630. Like, that's what it's giving. And we don't want that anymore. Like, give us a cute little collab like the Simpsons did. Okay, that was fun. That was exciting. No, give us Gucci and Craig of the Creek. You know what I'm saying? Like, that, babe, that's a concept. Gucci, email me. That's a concept. We get some Gucci and Craig of the Creek. You know what I'm saying? Isn't the Proud Family coming back? Babe, Burberry, somebody. Fenty, that's what we really need. Fashion is innovation, and fashion has always been in conversation with technology and, you know, forward thinking. And I can always appreciate that, although I'm not a fashion girly. I just want us to all be a little bit more mindful about how we're engaging with these so-called advances in technology and fashion, because if they're disenfranchising people who literally hold up this industry, then I don't think we should just be so hunky-dory with people behind it and welcoming with open arms. We need to be asking more questions. We ourselves are already robots, and we don't even ask enough questions, honestly, when it comes to our devices. You know, everyone is so ready to get a new MacBook Pro and an iPhone. I am too. I say this as a consumer. I say this as a participant of capitalism, okay? I say this as that. Thank you. And, you know, our iPhones made in an ethical way? Hell no. Our MacBooks? Absolutely not. But we agree. And so if we're going to agree, we owe it all to ourselves to just ask a few more questions. That's all. America and Europe, we all know, right? So why would we even think it's acceptable to tell Black women, be happy that this is your representation? Are you serious? No, you can't be. You must be joking. It must be satire. Because there's no way you think that we should really be happy about this. Now, here's my thing. I'm not going to just sit here and be like, I'm angry, I'm mad, we shouldn't have robot. I like technology. But I also understand that I, a human being, am the greatest technology that there is. Your brain, okay, your gut, your feelings, your body, your flesh and blood, right? You as a human being, you are the technology. We are the greatest technology that has existed. We, us. And all other beings out there that are cognizant, right? That are aware, quote unquote, you know, intelligent life forms, which is like, what the fuck is an intelligent life form? The ocean is an intelligent life form. Come on now, shut up. You know what I mean? Like, that's a whole nother, y'all, I'm talking about different things right now, but if you catch me, you catch me. If you peep, you peep. But like, the ocean, right, is another intelligent form of being. Like, let's use our brains here. Let's not be barnacles. But we have to regain control. When I said that I think that I have a solution. I really do. And I really feel like the solution, or one of the many solutions, that first of all, models, especially dark-skinned models, right? Especially black women, dark-skinned black women, right? Need to truly band together and need to express how they feel about this. Like, not skate around it, not like allude to it, not hint at it. Like, if y'all don't like this, you need to be like, we don't like it. We think it's weird. And we think that whoever you're using as your references need to be compensated and they need to be credited, right? If you're modeling Shudu's walk or any other computer-generated image, like models, CGI models, walk after a real person, hey, like, you need to put that information, I don't care, in every single caption. I don't give a fuck. In every caption. I want every reference credited. When you write a paper, you have a works cited page, right? So when you create something that is referenced off of the work, off of the existence, off of the body of someone else, you better reference that. That's the least y'all could do to show some respect. Reference it. Reference them. Reference these women and pay them. Adequately, equitably pay them.